a unique opportunity for anime and manga fans. If you're a One Piece fan, I'm sure you'd love to draw your favorite characters. Now you can get 2 amazing books for free. The first book will teach you drawing techniques, and the second one will show you how to create art directly on your phone without even needing to draw. You'll be able to create stunning virtual artwork just like the one on your screen right now. Both books are completely free if you act fast and click the link in the description. Don't waste time. This is a one-of-a-kind opportunity. Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Garp knows a lot about the world of One Piece, especially due to his past contact with Goldie Roger. And now, all of this may be revealed, and you'll find out how in today's video. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, the mystery of the D is undoubtedly one of the greatest enigmas in the One Piece universe. Since chapter 154, when Kureha casually mentions the will of D while talking about Goldie Roger, we've been faced with a question that seems larger than any saga or enemy encountered so far. After all, what does the D mean? Why does this initial appear in the names of some of the most important figures in history? And why is it always tied to events that shake the very fabric of the world? In this context, Monkey D. Garp emerges as a key piece in unraveling this riddle. A hero of the Navy who faced Goldie Roger repeatedly and is also the grandfather of Monkey D. Luffy, one of the greatest challengers to the world government. Garp is more than just an icon of strength and courage. He is a man who seems to know much more than he lets on. The question is, what exactly does he know about the D, and how is it linked to Luffy's fate? To begin, we must understand that Garp is not just any character. He is at the center of many stories that shape the world of One Piece. In chapter 432, when Garp casually reveals to Luffy that his father is Monkey D. Dragon, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, he demonstrates not only knowledge, but also a certain disregard for the grandeur of his family's connections. He treats the D lineage as something natural, as if it were just another inherited trait. But his relaxed attitude may be a disguise to protect Luffy from something greater and more dangerous. This ambiguity in Garp's relation to the D is reinforced by his history. From an early age, he had direct interactions with Goldie Roger, the man who became the Pirate King and who probably knew more about the D than anyone else. In chapter 957, we learn about the God Valley event, where Garp fought alongside Roger against the Rocks Pirates and the Celestial Dragons. This event was not only a milestone in history, but also a possible opportunity for Garp to learn something crucial about the meaning of the D. If Roger was aware of the significance of the D and what it represented, it's hard to imagine that Garp, so close to him at that moment, didn't pick up at least part of that knowledge. But what exactly is the D? In chapter 576, Whitebeard makes a statement that echoes through time. The Do'ak lineage is destined to challenge the world. He claims that the world government fears the bearers of the D because they are inevitable agents of change, people who rise up against tyranny and are in some way connected to the world's destiny. Garp, being a man deeply tied to justice, but also rebellious in his own right, seems to reflect this spirit. Although he never became a pirate, he rejected the title of admiral, refusing to serve directly under the Celestial Dragons. This refusal is an act of rebellion that in many ways echoes what it means to carry the deer in his name. Now, what makes Garp even more interesting is his relationship with Luffy. From the start, he knew his grandson carried that initial and consequently that destiny. He tried to mold Luffy into a sailor, perhaps in the hope of steering him away from the dangerous path that the D often paves. But at the same time, Garp seemed to understand that he couldn't avoid the inevitable. Deep down, he knew Luffy was special, not just because he was his grandson, but because he carried the same indomitable spirit as Goldie Roger. In chapter 966, during Roger's flashback, we see how he sought the One Piece and how his journey was connected to the mystery of the D. Roger knew he was following a destiny greater than his own, something that transcended his own life. In a way, Garp saw this in Roger and now sees the same in Luffy, but unlike Roger, Luffy is forging his own path, a path that blends freedom, friendship, and dreams in a unique way. If Garp really knows something about the meaning of the D, why has he never told Luffy? The answer may lie in Garp's own character. He is a man who believes in individual strength and personal choices. Telling Luffy about the D could place an unnecessary burden on his shoulders, a burden that could divert his natural journey. Instead, Garp chose to let Luffy discover his own destiny, even if that meant keeping painful secrets. Furthermore, Garp is not the kind of man who seeks to control the future. He is an observer, and in many ways a guardian. He knows that the D is not just a letter in a name. It is a promise, an inheritance that must be passed down from generation to generation. And perhaps by raising Luffy in such a particular way, he was preparing him to fulfill that promise, even without saying it explicitly. There is another layer to this story. Garp is not only connected to the D through his family, but also through his actions and decisions. He fought alongside Roger, helped shape the world as it is today, and now watches as Luffy and other bearers of the D begin to challenge the established order. He is at the center of a whirlwind of events, aware of what the D fruit means and the impact it will have on the future. What makes this narrative even more intriguing is the fact that Garp, despite his position as a hero of the Navy, carries an aura of mystery. He is both part of the system and someone who challenges its foundations. He is a man who understands the value of duty, but also the value of freedom. And in many ways, he reflects what the D represents. A balance between tradition and change, between order and chaos. At the center of it all is Luffy. He's not just a boy with a dream. He's the heir to a legacy that transcends eras. And Garp, with all his knowledge and experience, is the guardian of that legacy, the man who watches closely as destiny unfolds. When we finally learn everything Garp knows about the D, it will be a moment of revelation, not just for Luffy, but for all of us who follow this journey. What he knows could change everything we think we know about the world of One Piece. Continuing the line of thought we began, the figure of Monkey D. Garp becomes even more central when we think about what the D really means. Not only because of his direct connection to Luffy, Dragon, and Goldie Roger, but because he carries with him the weight of an entire era, a time when the bearers of the D were directly involved in the most impactful events in the world. If anyone could clarify the true implications of this lineage, that person is Garp. However, the question that still lingers is, why has he never revealed what he knows? And more importantly, when will he? The answer, it seems, may be tied to Luffy's destiny and the role Garp believes he must play in the world. To understand this, we must consider all the circumstances in which Garp could have spoken about the D and why he chose not to. In chapter 432, when he casually reveals that Dragon is Luffy's father, we get a glimpse of how Garp handles sensitive information. He doesn't give it much importance, as if he knows the right moment to discuss these topics has not yet arrived. This behavior reflects Garp's philosophy. He prefers to let people follow their own paths, believing that growth comes from personal choices, not from secrets revealed too soon. But what if there is a deeper reason for his silence? Perhaps Garp knows that the D is not just a symbol of rebellion or defiance, but something inherently dangerous. In chapter 576, when Whitebeard declares that the world government fears the D, he's not just talking about individuals who oppose the established order. He is implying that something much bigger is at stake, something that even the bearers of the Dakas may not fully understand. Garp may know that the D is connected to catastrophic or transformative events moments that shake the balance of the world. And when he looks at Luffy, he may not just see a determined boy, but someone destined to be at the center of these changes. By keeping the secret, Garp may be trying to protect Luffy from the overwhelming responsibility of knowing that his destiny is intertwined with the future of the entire world. Another important point is Garp's connection with Goldie Roger. In chapter 957, we learn about the battle in God Valley, where Garp and Roger fought side by side. This event is not just a historical milestone, it's a window into the kind of relationship Garp had with Roger. Although they were on opposite sides of the law, it seems clear that there was mutual respect between them. And if, during their interactions, Roger shared something with Garp about the D that made him understand the depth of this mystery, Roger knew his time was running out, as we saw in chapter 966. And he made the conscious decision to pass on his will to the next generation. He believed that someone would eventually complete his journey. Perhaps he shared with Garp his belief that the D is not just a heritage, but a responsibility. A flame that must be passed carefully. This responsibility may be exactly what prevents Garp from revealing everything to Luffy. He understands that the D is not something that can simply be explained, it's something that must be lived. Each bearer of the D seems to follow a unique path, but one that inevitably leads them to confront power structures and fight for freedom. Garp, knowing this, chose to prepare Luffy indirectly, training him to be strong but allowing him to discover his own path. So, when we look at Luffy's future, it's impossible to ignore the impact this revelation could have. If Garp decides to share what he knows, it will likely be at a crucial moment when Luffy is about to face his greatest challenge. It could be that seeing Luffy in a situation of extreme risk, Garp will realize that the time has come to pass on the knowledge he has kept for so long. We could imagine, for example, a situation where Luffy is in a desperate battle against the world government, perhaps facing indirectly the mysterious figure who seems to be at the top of the system. At this moment, Garp could appear not as a marine or a hero, but as a grandfather, someone who carries with him the truth about the D and what it really means. This revelation would not only give Luffy a new perspective on his own destiny, but it would also help unite all the bearers of the D under a common purpose. Trafalgar Law, for example, has already shown a deep connection to the D and could join Luffy in this final fight, becoming an even closer ally. Furthermore, this revelation could serve as a turning point in the story. Luffy has always been driven by his own will and determination, but by learning about the D, he may realize that his dream of becoming the Pirate King is not just a personal goal, but part of something much bigger. He would be carrying the will of all the bearers of the D who came before him, including Roger and Whitebeard, and fighting to create a world where freedom truly prevails. Garp's role at this moment would be that of a final mentor, someone who guided Luffy from afar and who, at the right moment, offers the final piece of the puzzle. His connection to the D and the events that shaped the world of One Piece makes him a crucial character, not only as Luffy's grandfather, but as a guardian of secrets that could change the course of history. When Garp finally reveals everything he knows, it will be a moment of profound impact. Not just for Luffy, but for all of us who have followed his journey. What he knows about the D is not just an answer to a long-standing mystery, it's the key to understanding what's truly at stake in the world of One Piece and how Luffy is destined to shape the future. What do you think about this? That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.